nowadays are listening to what the song is talking about. I mean, they're talking about their lives. They're not talking about how they met this girl. They're talking about how they were raised in the projects and how they were beaten down by the police. They were beaten up by their dads. They were abandoned by their mothers. I mean, they're talking about their mothers being on crack and their father selling drugs on the corner. I mean, they're talking about what the real deal is. They see, will I get to the age 13? Will I live long enough to be able to see high school? Because, you know, you got drive-by shootings, you got, you know, kids that are getting killed because someone else was being shot at.
Most of the music that you were producing in the 50s and 60s and into the 70s was really music that came out of the church. You know, the old definition of black music being where the sacred meets the profane. But most of the music that kids are recording today, or young people, tends to have left the sacred side out of it. You know, you gotta ask yourself a question, what happens with music like this? Where does it come from? It clearly doesn't come out of the church.
Well, you know, basically the church used to play a very important role in the community. And most people were raised up in the church. The church in the last 10 years have not played as important of a role as they should, or as they used to. So the kids can't relate to the churches anymore.
You don't really see the church as a sort of guiding provider of a role model for young people today?
Not as it should. I mean, it should be. And I think, you know, some people are trying to make that effort work, but so far it just hasn't worked.
For eternal survival, you ain't really fuck with the church and don't understand the Bible. Then I asked for forgiveness, took my last breath. Black Gambino, facing death. When he came for my soul, I saw myself walking to eternal life. Lost the fucking fight. My heart stopped beating, immediately stopped breathing. I see the preacher from the church read at my funeral, family all around me. With every motherfucker to my death that was down with me. God saved me from the fire the moment that I died, but I still see the tears in my mother's eyes.
Tears in my mama's eyes.
You got the clip in.
So sad. Can you remember what we once had? Peace and love is our destiny. I know you feel what we're trying to bring.
Come and hit me, I'm losing my soul.
Do you have any idea what Curtis thinks about this music?
Oh, he enjoys it a lot. He likes how the new kids incorporate his music into theirs and use his influence in what they're doing.
There have been only 12 Living Legend Awards given in the 35-year history of the Grammys. This award is a tribute from recording artists to one of their own.
Here with his lifelong friends, Jerry Butler and the Impressions, please welcome Curtis Mayfield.
After 3 decades of making music, this was Curtis Mayfield's first Grammy Award, an award he chose to receive in the company of his friends Jerry Butler, Fred Cash, and Sam Gooden.
Curtis, on behalf of all the musicians gathered here on stage and in the audience, we want to thank you for the lasting soul and the deep beauty of the music that you made. You've been an inspiration to all of us, and we're just honored to be up here with you tonight, and glad to present you with the Grammy Legend Award. We love you.
Thank you. Thank you, Bruce. And to the many artists who, through the years, have performed my songs.
Sometimes the rain, grooving when I hear the sound, like you and me, baby.
Curtis Mayfield has sung only once since the accident, and that with some difficulty, for his diaphragm no longer functions. Perhaps only Marvin Gaye and Stevie Wonder among his contemporaries possessed a talent to set alongside his own, but both of these artists had the hugely powerful machinery of Tamla Motown behind them. Curtis Mayfield did it on his own. He was always his own man. His voice may now be almost stilled, but we have the legacy of his music. Songs of devastating social insight, passionate in tone, and often, quite simply, beautiful.
Do it again.
pretty lady, so fine with your pretty hair. If you don't mind my compliments, I'm just digging on the clothes you wear. I'm just a man now, don't you fear? I love you now, don't you hear? I wanna do it again.
He's been on his own a long time now.
So in a sense, you're used to not having him
Yeah,
around.
used to not having him, you know, right around in the vicinity.
But I guess after the accident, in his present condition, you miss him a bit more, maybe.
Yes, because you'd be more concerned about him. You worry about it. Before, when you didn't see him, you didn't expect to see him often anyway.
Yeah.
But now we don't get down to Atlanta as often as we'd like to. We drove down 2 or 3 times. But so you can be concerned about him, especially sometimes when you hear he's not too well.
Do you ever get lonely?
In this house of 6 children and my wife, yeah, I get lonely. I mean, simply because not being able to up and out of here or move. And I've been an independent person all my life, ever since with Jerry Butler. I mean, I've always been an old man in the eyesights of others. So of course you do. Not being able to move about and having to totally depend on others slows you down quite a bit. But it could always be worse.
Add a little sugar, honeysuckle, and a great big expression of happiness. Boy, you couldn't miss with a dozen roses. Such would astound you, the joy of children laughing around you. These are the makings of you. It is true, the makings of you. The righteous way to go, little one would know or believe if I told them so. You're second to none, the love of all mankind should reflect some sign of these words I've tried to recite. They are close but not quite, almost impossible to do, reciting the makings of you.